I, F25, just found out why my ex, M26, broke up with me. It's making me upset even though I'm in a healthy relationship now. Posted by, yeah, 1234G. So, I'm in a healthy relationship and have been for almost 4 years. We live together, and we're planning on buying a house and getting married. The person I was with before this relationship was a longtime childhood friend who broke up with me suddenly, out of the blue, with little explanation. I was very surprised and upset about the breakup at the time and never got any closure as to why he ended things. As we were childhood friends, we shared a friendship group and have continued to share a friendship group, meaning we are often at the same social events together, but I deliberately don't speak directly to him or seek out any interaction with him, as I feel like our friendship ended when our relationship did, but I do keep things civil. He started to date another girl in my friendship group recently, and I was speaking to her and explaining how I was happy for her as she has been dating a string of horrible, almost abusive, men, and I was glad that she was choosing a safe guy. She then confessed to me that she has been sleeping with him for years and that they actually slept together when me and him were dating. She told me that the reason why he broke up with me suddenly was because he felt guilty for cheating on me and that he had been confiding in her that he wanted to break up with me because he felt bad about sleeping with her. She was surprised that this was news to me, and I tried to keep a poker face and not seem upset. I now feel conflicted. On the one hand, this was over 4 years ago, almost 5 years probably, and I'm in a happy and healthy relationship, but I now feel so blindsided by this, especially as she was someone I considered a friend. I've not spoken to my partner about this because I don't want him to think I'm still hung up on my past relationships. Edit. Thanks for all the advice and reassurance. I spoke to my current boyfriend about it a few hours ago, and he was really understanding and supportive. We then went on a nice walk and had a nap. We're both a bit hungover. I think I'm going to take a break from seeing all of that group for a while, and then maybe try and figure out who knew, but I think that it may just upset me further. I've got other friends and a nicer, happier life. I think I was just so shocked by how two people I've known for over 10 years could surprise me in such a horrible way. Oh well. I guess you never really know people. Thank you, Reddit, for making me feel less insane.
My girlfriend, 24F, reminded me, 28M, to pay her back $10 after I forgot my wallet. I've paid for almost everything over 4 years and it left me feeling weird. Posted by professional_cry_510. I am 28, have been with my girlfriend F24 for 4 years. We're serious, planning to get married. Throughout the relationship, I've paid for nearly everything. Dates, trips, food, gifts, you name it. I'd say easily 99% of all expenses were covered by me. She never really offered to split or pay, and I never asked her to. I was working full-time and doing well financially, so I didn't mind. Recently, though, I quit my job because I was mentally exhausted. I've been going through a bit of a burnout and needed a break. She, on the other hand, is currently working full-time and doing fine financially. The other day, we went out and she wanted a bubble tea. I forgot my wallet and my phone was dead, so I asked her to pay for it. It was like $10. She paid, drank it, and I dropped her off at her apartment. The next morning, she reminded me to send her the money. I had completely forgotten, so I sent it right away. But it left a weird feeling. I've spent thousands on her over the years, never asked for a dime back, and now that I'm out of a job and she's doing well, she couldn't let a $10 bubble tea slide? It's not about the money. It's about what it says. I can't tell if I'm overthinking this or if it's a red flag. I've always treated the relationship as a partnership, and this just felt transactional. Am I being too sensitive, or is this worth paying attention to? Update. Thanks to everyone who commented. I've been reading everything and it really helped me step back and see things clearly. When we started dating, we were both students. I was finishing engineering and already had a job lined up. I also worked as a TA, so I was doing fine financially. She was still a student, so L paid 'cause she was broke. I never asked her to pay and she never offered. Still never offered to split anything, not even the small stuff. I tried bringing up equality and shared effort, but she always shut it down with comments like, "You're the man, you should take care of me," or "We can't have two women in the relationship." What really got to me is that when I stopped proposing dates or doing everything, she started saying I wasn't making enough effort. Meanwhile, LVE been carrying this for 4 years. That bubble tea wasn't about the $10. It was about realizing how little support I was getting back.
Am I the asshole for refusing to wake up my husband when my parents visited and kicking them out when they insisted? Posted by Throwar Pretty Result. Sorry for the throwaway account. I have colleagues that follow my main, and I like to keep my personal life as private as I can. With that said, I will keep details as low as possible as well. Husband and I have been married for 5 years now, and we are both 29 years old. The last 3 weeks, due to a complete screw-up in a department in the company my husband works for, it has been all hand on deck for my husband and his team to resolve the issues. My husband has been working 18-hour a day, and even some days not even coming home, working throughout the entire night and into the next day. I don't know much about the issues exactly, but what I do know is that if they do not resolve the issues, it will be a $50 million loss for the company. The issues are not the result of my husband or anyone in his team, but they are the ones that has to fix the issues. I can see the exhaustion in my husband's face when he comes in as 2 to 3 in the morning when I'm awake and leaves at 7 again. I don't know how he is doing it and just keeps going, but I try my best to keep as much as possible of his plate at home until he could get the issues resolved. Before this, he has been nothing but supportive and helpful around the house. When he comes home, he eats, showers, and goes straight to bed. I have found him some nights literally sleeping at the table while he was busy eating when I went down to check on him because he wasn't in bed yet and I got woken up, or him passed out on the foot of the bed with the shower running and him still in his work clothes. 2 nights back, he got home at around midnight, which is late, but was too early from when he normally get back, and I thought something bad happened because he looked like a ghost, but through his exhaustion, he gave me this massive smile and said, "They did it, and everything is done." He told me the boss gave them each a couple days off, and he only needs to be back in the office next week Tuesday. He ate dinner, took a shower, and got into bed. I got up the next morning around 9 and made breakfast. I thought about waking up my husband, but didn't, and let him sleep. Around 12, my parents visited me. I normally work from home, and they do visit from time to time, seeing as I'm 6 months pregnant as well. I greeted them, and we sat down and had coffee. Around 30 minutes into their visit, they asked where my husband was because they saw his truck in the driveway. I told them he was still sleeping. My mother gave me a look and said it's unacceptable for my husband to still be sleeping past 12 o'clock, especially with a pregnant wife, and I should wake him up. I told them no and to leave it, and then explained the full situations of what happened the last 3 weeks to them. They didn't budge and insisted I wake my husband up. Apparently, it's not right for him to sleep in with a pregnant wife. It went as far as my mother standing up and saying if I wouldn't do it, then she will go and wake him up. I stood up and blocked my mother from going up the stairs and told my parents if they find it so wrong for my husband to get proper sleep after 3 weeks of barely any sleep, they should leave our house because I will not, and I refuse to let them wake him up as well. I told them, I will let my husband sleep until he wakes up himself. I will not disturb him, and I will not allow anyone else to disturb him. They asked if I am kicking them out, and I said yes. If they can't respect my request to leave my husband alone and let him sleep, they are no longer welcome. Their whole visit lasted around an hour. Around 3 p.m., I got bombarded with texts from their family members berating me for kicking my parents out of our house, even my sister and brother berating me for doing it, telling me I'm the holy for kicking them out for just trying to help. Even after I explained the situation, some family members are still on my parents' side, saying I overreacted by kicking them out because they were only looking out for my safety, seeing as I'm pregnant.
Am I the asshole for not having a problem with my dad's family, not wanting a relationship with my 3-year-old half-sister? Posted by Practical_Extreme 915. My mom and dad's family hate each other now, because when my dad was terminally ill, my mom freaked out on him and had to be removed from his hospital room. The stuff I know about that led to all that is my mom cheated on dad, and dad found out about it, and he refused to forgive her or give his blessing for her to be with someone. And a few weeks after he found out, he changed what he was doing with his will and assets and set up a trust fund for me and put his twin in charge of it instead of mom. He added a bunch of his things to the trust too. When mom found out, she flipped, and that's when she yelled at him. She called my dad selfish, a worthless POS, and told him to drop dead already, so she could be free from the role of nurse wife. I heard her, and so did my grandparents and dad's twin. The rest of his siblings were somewhere else. But once that incident happened to them, and mom fought relentlessly until Dad died. Then when he was gone, she tried to keep me from them and stopped when I told her I hated her and wished she wasn't my mom. She got upset and asked why I'd say that. And I told her I heard what she called Dad and said to him, and I knew she upset her before too. She tried to make things better between us, but I couldn't forgive her for how she acted and for hating Dad when she was the one who betrayed him. Her relationship with Dad's family doesn't exist anymore, and they don't even talk about me now that I'm 17 and can make plans without her. When I was 13, she got married again, and when I was 14, she had my half-sister. Mom's an only child, and her parents died before she had me. Her husband doesn't have a relationship with his family. They adopted grandparents from an old person home when my half-sister was a baby, but those people died, and my mom decided my dad's family should step in because of me. She said we're siblings and half doesn't matter, and they should love my half-sister because she's my family. And she said I should want them to, that I should make them be there for her, so she doesn't grow up feeling unwanted. It's been like this for more than a year now. My mom brings it up every time I talk to or see someone in Dad's family. When I wouldn't ask them, she showed up at a family day and asked them to include my half-sister and to be her family. So she grew up not feeling so different and distant to me. Dad's family told her they wanted nothing to do with my half-sister, and she isn't their family and never will be. Mom expected me to leave with her, but I stayed. Since that happened, my mom has been on my case more, and she's asking me if this is the kind of man I want to be. We fought, and I said stuff about her, and how I still feel about her, and how I feel about my half-sister. And I told her I didn't care that my dad's family said no to having a relationship with my half-sister. That I don't care, and it's her and her husband's problem to deal with, and not mine. She told me I should care because it's my innocent half-sister we're talking about, not her mom. And the fight just escalated. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that I'm not going to give her son a gift just because it's his turn? Posted by you/broad_the909. My sister-in-law, my partner's brother's wife, has a 10-year-old son, and lately she has started a habit of telling the whole family that it's her turn to get a gift every time someone else has a birthday or something special. Last week was my daughter's birthday, and we bought her a toy she had wanted for months. When my sister-in-law came to the house with her son, the boy asked, "And what do I get?" And his mom, very calmly, said, "Yes, you should give him something too, so he doesn't feel left out." I laughed thinking it was a joke. But no, she was serious. She told me that it's only fair, that if a child sees another child get something, he should get a small gift too. I told her that I disagreed, and that I'm not going to raise my daughter thinking that the world owes her something every time someone else celebrates something. She got really upset and told me that I was being cruel to a child. But honestly, I find that just reinforces a selfish attitude. My partner is supportive, but her brother is now upset too and says we could have at least given him something symbolic, like candy. So, am I the asshole for refusing to give gifts to my sister-in-law's son every time someone else celebrates something?
Am I the asshole for resisting family therapy and telling my bio parents I miss my real parents? Posted by you/Lavalinia. Sorry if the title's confusing. My bio parents have me, 16F, and my brother, 17M, in family therapy with them because they want us to get over our grief and trauma and do more for them and our younger siblings. So when my bio parents had my brother and then me, they were in their early 20s and they let our grandparents take over most of the parental stuff. We practically lived with them, although not really. But we spent 7 days a week at our grandparents' house, and they took care of us. We'd sleep at our bio parents' place, but even that wasn't every night, so sometimes we didn't see them for days. When I was about 6, my bio parents started trying for a baby, and I was 7 when they started over and had another kid, and then 2 more after. My bio parents were more settled, but their focus was on the babies, and we were still at our grandparents' house every day. Eventually, we just felt like our grandparents were our real parents, and we called them mom and dad when talking to others and our bio parents by their names. We actually always called our bio parents by their first names. When I was 13, Grandpa died in a car crash. Then 6 months later, when me and my brother were staying with Grandma for a few nights, she had a huge seizure out of nowhere, and she died. We found her having the seizure, and the 2 of us were alone with her when she died. We were 14 and 15. It's been so hard without them. I miss my parents. And to me, they are my parents in all the ways that really count because they did more for us than our bio parents did. My bio parents didn't care what we'd gone through, and they expected us to just handle things on our own. But they started getting annoyed that we weren't acting like part of the family and didn't take over oldest kids' chores, and that we were self-sufficient but didn't do anything for anyone else. We sorta lived like we were adults who had roommates who we needed to avoid. Our bio dad told us we had better start doing more if we expected anything from them. Then my bio mom told us we needed to stop acting like we died with grandma and grandpa did, and to realize we owed something to the household we were living in. My brother told her to put us in foster care then, but she said that would never happen because they'd be on the hook for child support. Our younger siblings were confused by it all, and were more like strangers because we never spent time with them or had a relationship with them, and we still don't. When my bio mom heard me cry to my brother about missing our parents, she told that was enough, and we needed therapy to get this shit fixed. I didn't want therapy, and I don't want a better relationship with my bio parents. I'd prefer for them to send me somewhere else instead of pretending we're an actual family and they were ever real parents to us. They tell the therapist every week they want her to fix us, so we'll get the fuck over it. Last week when our session got intense with my bio parents arguing with the therapist, I told them I miss my real parents and I won't ever stop missing my real parents who actually raised me. Because of what I said, they were more angry at me for not trying in therapy and saying something like that to make the therapist dig deeper into stuff. So, am I the asshole?